Hello everybody, this is Book Owl, and today I'll be taking place of Bookworm because he still can't be found. But I've gone through a lot of book hauls this past few months of January 2018, and I feel like I got a lot of books. I'm just going to go over today's because, it's too much. So we're going to go off with just these books over here. So what today was a bag sale, and I got a lot of books from that. $6 for a whole bag. So I just kind of grabbed whatever. It wasn't, sorry, I keep breathing hard for some reason. It wasn't the greatest, book haul ever. But it was definitely really interesting. So, pick and choose, I guess. But, okay, let's see what we got here. I got 6 Centuries of Great Poetry. And it goes all the way from, let's see what starts. I already missed him. Geoffrey Chaucer, all the way to, I guess Wilfred Owen, and that's pretty neat. I like early 20th century books, like poetry, so this was cool to pick up for that haul. Got this, which is just a book about angels. I'm into angels. There's some weird stuff going on here, like your body is your creation, all these kind of messages, religious messages, but I like it. It's neat, it's kind of neat to have. I got this, which is Secrets and Mysteries of the World, and I got this book. So in case you didn't know, it's ironic that I'm an owl, but I'm a big fan of Twin Peaks, so I look around, for Twin Peaks related stuff, and I was flipping through here, and I'll show a page. It has a big page, like a chapter on tulpas, which are beings that aren't really real, but they're made from you. Like copies of yourself in another form, and it's really interesting, and I thought this book would be cool. It's got more to it than that, but tulpas were brought up as a key factor in the new Twin Peaks series, so I was kind of cool to find that book. I like that book, so I'll keep that out. Sacred Tree is really neat. This is another one of those kind of spiritual books I picked up. This is Native American culture. Talks about the medicine wheel, symbolism, and certain things that they do. But for what I picked it up for, this would have been $11, like at a gift shop or something. I got it for pretty cheap, so that's cool. Usually they're 50 cents per soft cover, $1 for hardcover, and this is a really good hardcover. I get a lot of these health books, so you'll see them often. This is Salt, Sugar, Fat, How the Food Giants Hooked Us by Michael Moss, and this one already seems pretty lengthy. I guess I can show you. Over here, I have another book I'm reading. I got it from the same library. It's called Pandora's Lunchbox, How Processed Food Took Over the American Meal. And this is probably one of the most interesting books I've ever read, and I'm only a quarter of the way in. It's because I go from book to book. I can show you other books I'm reading, but they're not related to what I was just showing you, but got a lot of those kind of books. I got Unhealthy Truth, and this one seemed interesting, I guess. I don't know, it's more from parents, I guess, oh, this food could be giving my child certain illnesses, or they're allergic to something they weren't, it seemed interesting. And for a price it was going to be at $15, I think this was worth the find. Oh, this one, by the way, this one I was showing you, this would have been $30 almost. So that's kind of cool. So got that. Those two. Another food book, Food Fight. This one I was looking through, and it seemed really familiar, this book. Reminds me of Fast Food Nation, which is probably what got me hooked on these kind of books in the first place, so it's kind of neat. Got a comic book over here called The Three Paradoxes by Paul Hornschmeyer. And it's kind of got a hipsterish vibe to it. It's a withdrawn book, so it's still in really good quality. It's laminated and everything, so I got that. I might lend that to someone else or give it to someone as a gift if I don't really want it. Home remedies. I like home remedy books just because they're cool to talk about. Sometimes they talk about wild edibles, herbal treatments, you know, gross kind of things that you want to take care of, but you don't want to spend money on something way more expensive. I mean, I'm telling you, homeopathic stuff is actually kind of expensive when you look at it, but it's still good for you, so I guess maybe there's a point to it. I don't know. It depends on what you go for. I call it more of like, it's placebo medicine. If it works for you, it might just because you think it's working. I don't know. But I like just the teas and stuff, and you can get like witch hazel at the dollar store now, so it's kind of getting a bigger thing. I got this Civil War handbook. It's just pictures and key facts and uniforms and maps. Small booklet, but it seemed nice. Grabbed this book. Looked like it has a Borders coupon on, sticker. So that's cool. It's a Borders book. But talks about, like vegetables, herbs, and everything. Plants, origins, and history. I like that kind of stuff, so I'll grab that. This book I didn't get from there. This book I didn't get from there. So this one's the last one I got from there. And this is The Potted Herb by Abby Zabar. And it seemed like a nice copy. I like herb books, so as I stated before, I can give it away if I don't want it. Or donate it back again. Like, it wasn't that much, so it wasn't expensive. So I got those. And then I went to the Salvation Army, just a little trip. I didn't really get a lot. I got a CD2, which is a B-52's album, and that was really cheap. They were all together like 50 cents. So if you ever want cheap books, go to Salvation Army. It might be rough pickings, but you don't know. You know, you never know what they're gonna get. I've gotten mushroom books. I've gotten edible books. I've gotten a lot of crazy things like nature books from the Salvation Army. So give it a shot. It's nothing to be ashamed of for spending them for less. I mean, you're already trying to save while going to these library sales, so may as well just go and try and check out the scope of the thrift stores around you. I got this book, stories about the North American coyote. I like coyotes particularly just because they're very wolf-like, dog-like, and there's a lot more of them around here in Michigan where I live, so you know, it's nice to know about them. So I'm just thinking they're like hungry savages or something. I picked out this one just because it seemed interesting. It's studies of the psychology and behavior of animals in zoos and circuses. And it's an older print book. I don't know what actually was printed. Let me check. Doesn't say exactly. 1955. There you go. But this one seemed pretty neat. A little word heavy, little scientific here. But, you know, it's better than nothing. And then we got Americana, Roadside Memories. And this one seemed like something I would have got for way more at like some exhibit at a museum or something. Doesn't have a price on here, but talks about dine-ins, which I love. And like how they'll fill your own or get your gas attendant, you know. Roadside Eats, Route 66, all that stuff. It's really cool, so I got that, and that was my trip today, so good book haul. I'll be trying to go over more books, like books I'm currently reading, or books I have favorited in the past, and I read them over and over again, so thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.